Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new HJ, welcome to my channel. And as you can tell by the title of the video, I'm going to be discussing my thoughts on the TV show Young Sherlock. I know I reacted to the trailer ages ago and I said I was going to try and react to it, but I don't know how. If you're a reactor, please help me. Because when I tried to screen record on Amazon Prime, it was like, So, it's the same with Disney. I don't know how people get around it. I kind of know how people get around it, but I would like to do it the right way. That's all that I'm doing. I have a reveal of my own. I got my hair cut today, so I have shorter hair. I love it, to be honest. The long hair I was getting annoyed with, so it had to go. It feels a lot healthier though, and a lot thicker, and I love it. It's still long enough that I can tie it in a little ponytail if I need to. But yeah, I'm going to be discussing Young Sherlock by Guy Ritchie, so if you want to stick around and hear my thoughts on the series, please do. Please be warned if you are planning to watch it, you don't want spoilers, this will probably contain spoilers, so feel free to go check out any of my other videos that might interest you. I am still going to be doing the Breaking Bad series. I'm going to be putting up the episodes that are going to go up on my channel edited. They're still going to be going up on my Patreon unedited, but I think after I'm done with season 1, I'm going to keep the remainder of Breaking Bad on my Patreon, because long form content like that and editing it down, copyright's always an issue. Copyright's an issue even with the shorter reaction series, like my last video reacting to the Lizzie Borden trailer for the Monster series. It got copyrighted to hell, so it's annoying because I can't really cut any of that out. So I believe that sometimes moving forward now, if there's a series I'm definitely going to watch, I might just review it for you guys, because it'll be an easier way for me to get my thoughts out and get copyrighted. So feel free to like, subscribe, go join the Patreon if you are interested. I know I haven't been as active and the Breaking Bad series has taken a bit of a backseat, but as I explained in one of my videos, my health was rubbish at one point. I was housebound for nearly 2 weeks, and then I had trips planned and I was doing that, and then my body just was run down. I am prepping to get back into doing it, and as I said, season 1 will be continued, and I will edit down the episodes that are going to be on my channel for my channel. The rest of them will be on Patreon, and then I'll watch the rest of Breaking Bad just as an exclusive on Patreon. I may do an occasional episode. I might edit it down if it's a really good one and I think you guys would like it. I might do a surprise videos and go, this is one I think you'll like. Feel free to have a look at it. But yeah, let's get started. For transparency, I have it up on Wikipedia just so I don't miss anything, because my brain goes 20 miles an hour and I'm thinking of several different things at once. So Young Sherlock is by Guy Ritchie, who we all know he did the Sherlock Holmes movies with Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law, and everyone is desperate for a third one. I definitely don't think we're ever going to get a third one, because they're always booked and busy and there's been no updates for ages. So I don't know if we're going to get one. I don't think we will, sadly. And these are inspired by Andrew Lane's Young Sherlock Holmes books, which I've heard of. I've never read them before. I might have to. They might have to go on my TBR. If you have read them, let me know down in the comments. Did you like them? I always like the idea of like a young Sherlock, like that film that I discussed in my reaction to the trailer. I will stick the poster here if anyone has seen it. Let me know, because we watched that in English when I was in school and I became obsessed with it, because obviously he's not who we know him to be as this amazing detective, worldwide known detective who's developed his abilities and his powers and his prowess, and he's just starting from scratch. And it's the same in this. He is not the Sherlock we know. He is 19 years old. He has just gotten out of prison for pickpocketing. His brother got him out and has got him a job at Oxford. He's not attending Oxford. He is basically a janitor. He's working as a janitor to just get back into the routine of being in society, and so Mycroft can keep an eye on him and keep him out of trouble, as usual, so his big brother does. While he's there, a case unfolds for him, and he meets a young James Moriarty, which is insane to think about, because in the original novels, you hear of Moriarty, you never see him until the Reichenbach fall, until the final fall, and it's the one time you see him, and then poof, he's gone. And then originally that's where it was supposed to end. Arthur Conan Doyle wanted to kill off Sherlock Holmes, and he thought, I'm going to make him die with his arch nemesis and that'll be the end of it. But then Queen Victoria said to him, "Oh, when are you writing the next Sherlock? I really like those." And he thought, uh-oh. So he had to continue it. Donald Finn, I think that's how you pronounce his name, because there's a asterisk over the O, so it might be a different pronunciation. He plays James Moriarty, and Hero Finds Tiffin plays Sherlock Holmes. You will know Hero Finds Tiffin if you're a Harry Potter fan. He was little teeny tiny Voldemort in Half-Blood Prince, and he is Ralph Fiennes' nephew, and funnily enough, his uncle, Joseph Fiennes, plays his dad in this. It's mental. It is so crazy. This family is just insanely talented. But Donald Finn is James Moriarty. As much as I'm going to say this, the whole cast was incredible, absolutely incredible. He stole the show for me. It's always the villains that everyone likes. They have such a depth to them, and even though he's not the James Moriarty we know, it's the same as Sherlock, and this is just him starting out at Oxford. He was a student. He just happens to meet Sherlock Holmes. They rival each other in a mental capacity as well, and they just get on like that. It's like a simultaneous friendship, and he, throughout this whole series, just, you slowly see him in the intricate little ways that he does it with his facial expressions. He is slowly willing to develop into the Moriarty we know and how he does it. It's from the off. We learn more about his backstory as well, obviously as well as Sherlock's, because we see Sherlock's mum and dad in this, as well as his brother Mycroft, obviously. But in this as well, there's a third Holmes. It's not like the BBC one. It is a sister, but she's not cuckoo. Called Beatrice, and something happens to her when they're young. Sherlock's supposed to play with her and watch her, and all of a sudden she goes missing, and she turns up dead. And Sherlock, throughout the whole first half of the series, keeps seeing this vision of this girl in a dress, and no one sees her but him. So he's seeing his sister throughout the whole of this, and all he can think about is to that day, and how if he had just played with her, if he had just kept an eye on her, none of this would have happened. None of it would have happened. And his mum is in an insane asylum because the death of her daughter obviously drove her mentally insane, and their father thought it was best to put her into an asylum. Mycroft, as you will, Max Irons as Mycroft. Like, when I say everyone in this cast has the best chemistry, like Hero and Donald with James Moriarty, their chemistry is insane. Hero and Max with their brotherly chemistry, oh my god, they play the brothers so well. And I love it that they're both quite witty, but they're not like at loggerheads, like obviously when they're older, like how most Sherlock Holmes stories depict them. Not really the Granada Show, if you know what that one is, with the Jeremy Brett version of Sherlock. They're not like that one shows them being amicable. They're not horrible to each other, like in the BBC version and in Elementary they are. If you've ever seen Elementary, that's the one with John Lee Miller and Lucy Liu. And Rhys Ifans plays Mycroft, and their one is the same as the BBC one, where there's very much animalistic, like not hate but dislike towards each other. Obviously that's how you are being brothers, and they've both got the same intellectual gifts, so that like you try and one up, and there's things that have happened in Elementary between the two brothers that makes sense for them to have that. Obviously there's some in the BBC version, but then obviously when you find out the deeper stuff towards the end that Mycroft was hiding from Sherlock and some vice versa, like I don't know what it is about it, and even in the books they sometimes still write them that way. Like most of the majority of Sherlock Holmes books I've read by other authors, there is still that sense of between them. These two have the little arguments over the little things. Obviously Mycroft obviously is like, Sherlock, you can't do that, and Sherlock is always like, well, why can I not do that? That sort of thing I don't mind, and they do come together at nice points, and they are like, well, thank you, brother dear, and it's like, well, you're welcome, brother dear. Like, I love that. That's the type of relationship that I liked, but obviously something will happen further down the line, maybe to make them a bit more at loggerheads, like we're used to seeing them. Because even when I read the books, the original novels, they're not like that. So I like seeing them when they're slightly younger, where it's almost brotherly teasing in a way. Because Mycroft is working for the government in this. He's just started his governmental career, and Sherlock obviously has just come out of prison for pickpocketing of all things, and is helping his brother get back into society, but also trying to keep an eye on him at the same time because he will be there at Oxford to oversee things. So there's that, which I like. Yeah, Joseph finds as their dad. Oh my god, this family dynamic is insane. And their mother Cordelia is played by Natasha. Oh my god, I can't even say that last name. Mechelone, Mcelhone. I'm butchering that. I'm so sorry. So I'll just call her. I think it's Natasha. Yeah, Natasha. I don't know why I'm going to say that again. I'm not going to. Seeing the mother dynamic, right? Because again, like I'm going to keep bringing it back to the original novels, and I'll reference other series as well. We briefly hear about their parents. We don't see them, obviously, because they're older and they've probably passed away by that point, or maybe they've retired somewhere. The BBC version, we do see them, and they're played by Benedict's actual parents, which is actually funny in a way. And Elementary, you see their dad. You don't see Sherlock and Mycroft's mother in Elementary. She passed away when they were little. Was it when Sherlock was young or when he was little? I want to say teenage-ish. And there are probably other Sherlock Holmes things I've not seen yet. I know there's Sherlock and his daughter. That's with David Thewlis, who played Professor Lupin. There's so many Potter people. I've not watched that yet. I do actually want to watch that. And I know there's that Watson TV show that came out where Robert Carlyle's Sherlock. So I need to watch that as well. Side quest. So seeing the mum, she's brilliant. She goes from one to the other in this series. So she starts off in the insane asylum and you think, oh, this is why they're the way they are. They're like this. And then further down through the show, this is where spoilers may come into it, she comes out of the asylum. Like Sherlock breaks her out because a whole thing had happened at the college where someone was trying to get these scrolls that their library had, and Sherlock and and Moriarty, because they're both M, this is going to confuse me, the last people to see the scrolls, and they were the last person to see going in, so they tried to blame it on them. Sherlock almost went back to jail. Moriarty lost his scholarship at Oxford, so he was no longer at Oxford. Because all I kept remember hearing in my head about that was Robert Downey Jr.'s one saying he was a boxing champion at Cambridge. So when it said he was in Oxford, I went, well, he's had to have gotten kicked out because he wasn't the boxing champion of Oxford, he was a boxing champion of Cambridge. So he lost his scholarship, so he could no longer attend Oxford. And it turns out they were helping this Princess Princess Shuan. Shuan? I think that's how they pronounced it. Shuan. And she helped them bring the scrolls to the university because she's staying there and trying to, I think, study there as well. And so they find that they go missing.
There we find the boxing champion of Cambridge.
They solve that case, and further down they find out that they've been recording Sherlock's mum because she says something in the show that only Sherlock's mother had said to Sherlock, which is the man with the claw is coming to get me. He's coming back to get me. And Sherlock was like, what? So turns out they were recording the mother in the asylum. He takes her out, gets her off the medication. She's a completely different person. It was like two different sides of the same coin. When she comes off the medication, you can absolutely see where Sherlock gets his wittiness and his little mannerisms and all that from. Like, she was just amazing. And up for running around with her sons on an event, and they'd never seen her like that, obviously, because Beatrice died when they were very young. So throughout their whole childhood, they've just seen her as this woman who's grieving the loss of her child, has gone a bit crazy, and their dad had no choice but to send her away. And now they see, even my group was like, you think I've never seen you like this? She went, no, nor have I. And she's like, it's a great feeling. it's like she is smart as well. Like they don't just get the cleverness from their dad. She is smart in other ways, as most people are. People are smart in very different ways. So sometimes not logically smart, like good enough to be a scientist smart, but they're smart in different ways. Joseph finds as Silas Holmes is phenomenal. Like that family is insanely talented. Because as you know, his brother is Ralph Fiennes, who played Voldemort in the Harry Potter series. He's also been in so much more. He's done a lot of stage work. He's been in The English Patient. He was in the James Bond series. And he's done loads of work prior to that. He was in Red Dragon in the Hannibal movies. He was Francis Darlhide in Red Dragon. He terrified me in that film. Absolutely terrified me. I've not seen a lot of Joseph Fiennes' work. I know he's been in Shakespeare in Love, but that's not really my sort of thing. So I think this was my first proper thing seeing him in. His character starts off as you think sweet husband, caring sort-of-ish father. Like he has been absent from them for work. He travels. They've not seen him. And then it kind of flip-flops. Colin Firth is in this as a dean of Oxford. He is so... He's the one that will think everything and anything told to him. He is a bumbling idiot at points, and it was quite funny to... It was quite funny to really see him do that. Like I can't fault any of the who's gonna I'm just seeing who's got season 2 down here. No. Oh my god, I love Aidan Gillen. And he's in season 2. Excuse me, Sophie Skelton from Outlander. She's probably going to be in season 2. Who else is here? I'm going off track now. Olivia Williams. I don't think I've seen her in any. No, she was Camilla in The Crown. She was good in that. Who's that? Indria Varma. You joking? She was in Torchwood, Game of Thrones, Luther. They really get people must be lining up. Like this show got renewed for season 2, like pretty much after it was done, because it's not over till it's over. Honestly, right? I've lost track here. Sorry, my brain goes 100 miles an hour. And Holly Cattle, who plays Hodge's helper in this, is... And then, she's good. But then this is going to be a big spoiler, right? Throughout this whole... so the first half of this show, so there's 8 episodes. So the first kind of 4 are them trying to figure out why certain professors at this college are getting off. They find the scrolls, and then after that, one of the professors is found murdered, and Sherlock is arrested on suspicion of killing this professor. So he's then interrogated, and he can't remember what happened the previous night because they had celebrated getting the scrolls back because they'd never left the building. Sherlock figured it out that it was all a ruse to get them away from the building, away from Oxford, so the person who stole the scrolls in the first place could plant a bomb to go off, and that was one of the funniest scenes. It's like, what are you doing, Holmes? Just a bomb. What bomb? A bomb is a cellular device. I know what a bomb is. It is so funny. And then Sherlock was framed for the murder of this professor. And that is when Moriarty's also plumped into it, and his scholarship is taken away, and he helps break Sherlock out of prison. And they try and think back on that night and going, well, what could have happened? And Sherlock remembers he was having a drink with Joao, who had her back turned. So he was like, she must have put something in my drink, because her back was to me, so he couldn't see. So they figure out that she had drugged him and must have gone to kill the professor, left all the evidence in Sherlock's room, boom, bam. And they find I can't say a word. They find the remains of this photo she tried to burn, and so they trace it back to this photographer in the town. And it turns out 4 of the professors that worked at Oxford were in the photo, and they were all seated near the bomb at the gala. So they're like, right, these are the intended targets. The scrolls were never really a thing. It wasn't about the scrolls in the first place. So the 4 professors are Thompson, Roberts, Enright, and Malik. And then while they're racing to try and tell them all, Roberts has been killed off, and Joao's not who she says she is. She's not the princess. Who is she? As we continue on, Joanne continues to murder these professors. The one thing that happens, what she does is she leaves a glove. Sherlock manages to keep a hold of one of her gloves, and which leads them to who she actually is, and she's not a real princess. The real princess was on her way to England. She was swapped. For the person we know as Joanne is not Joanne. She was swapped around in order to get her into Oxford. And at that point, when they found the 4th and final professor, they use him as bait to get her to come to where they use his bait to get her to come to where they're gonna catch her. And that's when Joanne says that line to Sherlock about, like I mentioned previously, that only his mum could know, and he was so confused. So that's when the next time he goes to visit, and he's like, well, they've got to be recording her. Like, there's no other way. And so he waltzes in as it happens, and then waltzes her back out. And they go back to the family home, which is incredible. They have an incredible house. And then Sherlock determines that the man with the claw, with the bird's claw, he's seen it, and he can't figure out where he's seen it before. It's Professor Malik's cane. So he was in on recording Sherlock's mother the whole time. This is somehow connecting back to why all the previous professors were murdered, but how. And Hodge, who's Colin Firth's character, while they were all out trying to find Malik, he finds him, and he reveals that Malik betrayed Hodge because he feared his discoveries would have been stolen, and then somehow Hodge then collapses and dies of poisoning. And by the end of that sort of episode, Stylus magically comes back. Now, like that, these final 4 episodes, it's like 2 rolled into 1. It's incredibly clever. And I was just sitting through this whole thing going, this is absolutely so clever, thought-provoking, well-written. This is, it's incredible. It still has that Guy Ritchie flair. So Silas returns. Cordelia's now on an adjusted medication. And Silas reveals that Malik has been recording multiple asylum patients for specific research. So Moriarty and Sherlock decide to investigate Silas, because Moriarty's not sure of him. Moriarty thinks there's something not right, and discovers that Silas has been like having companies without telling the family. He's had 4 companies that have gone bankrupt, and his finances have reversed quite dramatically in the last year. So they find that's a bit weird, and that was the year that Beatrice passed away, and they learned that Silas took power of attorney over Cordelia when she was committed, and that therefore seizing control of the entire Holmes estate, and then he paid off the groundskeeper shortly afterwards. So Sherlock begins to think, wait, and they find out that they were like, well, surely, what's this got to do with Beatrice? Like, why is Beatrice suddenly involved in all this? And he thinks, right, well, surely their mum seen her, like, she was crying over the body, and when he looks back, he does this sort of mind palace thing, but where he places himself there, and you're seeing the scene again, and you're seeing Sherlock stand there and observe everything. It's almost like his mind palace, but in a very different way. And it's really cool because Moriarty can enter it. His mum entered it at one point. Like, if you're clever enough, you can enter the Mind Palace with him and see. It's really cool because you're seeing it in a physical sense of where we're showing you the scene again, but with current Sherlock looking back on it, looking through the whole thing and seeing evidence at the corner of his eye and seeing little bits that he thinks, hang on, wait a minute, I saw something but I can't quite recall. But we're in it with him, which is really, it's a really cool thing that Guy Ritchie has done with the series. And he goes back and he thinks, well, surely Mother's seen Beatrice's body, and then he remembers, like, no, we didn't. And she said, oh no, I seen her. And they go to the family doctor, and the family doctor says, I didn't examine Beatrice's body. And an outside doctor from Oxford was called. And Silas said, well, that's what your mother wanted, and all that. And now Sherlock's thinking, was my sister's death staged? Is she actually dead? So he goes and takes a shovel to the grave. And when you see in the flashback at the very beginning of the series as to everything that happened, like, you at the very first scene of the show is the flashback of what happened to Beatrice, and you see that she's got her arm in a sling, so she's either sprained it or she's broken it. I think and Sherlock's is definitely like, she broke this. They open the grave. That little girl in there does not have a broken bone. She doesn't have a broken arm. Their father lied. Beatrice is alive. And I kid you not, I was going, what? I could not believe that's where that went. I was thinking, right, well, they've mentioned the dead sister. Sherlock keeps seeing this girl, and and in my head I'm going, well, that must be what he thought Beatrice would look like. And then as soon as they discovered that was not Beatrice in that grave, he looks up and that girl just nods and disappears. He was seeing the version, he was seeing the other girl that was buried in that coffin. That's her ghost who was following him, trying to tell him something's not right. Like, Beatrice is not dead. Like, I am not your sister. You need to help me. Contacting him like that. But I think also that's always been the thing in the back of his head. Something must not have been right. Because otherwise, why would he be thinking of this person who he thought was his sister? Turned out was not his sister. His sister's still alive, and his dad is a liar. This is like what you want. The whole explanation of why the Holmeses are the way they are. Their dad is a liar. He had their mum committed so he could take control of the entire estate and the finances because he needed the money. Because he was a liar. Because when you also think of, like, the dad in the BBC Sherlock wasn't like that. Oh, the dad in Elementary. He's about the same level as this. Oh my goodness. Silas then, this is where you see how he's trying. When Sherlock goes to confront him, he's deflecting, going, "Oh no, son, that's what your mother wanted. No, it was sprained. It wasn't broken. You're just thinking that." Like, his dad is so manipulative. It is crazy, and is trying to tell Sherlock, you've inherited your mother's madness, and that scene, Hero Fine Stephens does an amazing job with that. Like, it's I think people sort of think it's sort of easy to do the typical Sherlock thing, but they've always cast Sherlock as not really an emotional character, when he is. He just does, obviously keeps it very low to the ground. But there are scenes in the Granada series with Jeremy Brett where you can see the emotional Sherlock's face, and he nearly cries at one point. It almost makes me cry every time. It's the Napoleon one, the busts, and they're saying, "Oh no, we're not envious of you at Scotland Yard, sir." Like, Lestrada's saying this to Sherlock. It's like, "No, we're proud of you." And he just looks at him, and he looks like he's going to cry. And honestly, it gets me every bloody time. And John Lee Miller's one, he is a very emotional version of Sherlock. He's still a nuisance, but like throughout the whole 7 series, like, there's so much character development for him, and it's amazing to see. I think finding the emotional parts for, especially because now Sherlock's so young, but he's already got that little Sherlocky attitude that we all kind of know. But because he's so young in this, and he's just found out his father has been lying to him the entire time, his sister is not dead, his father has been planning this. He does an amazing, amazing job. Their mum's now off the medication. They are now on the quest to hunt for Beatrice, and they trail her back to this woman in Highgate who raised Beatrice as Hannah. Like, they didn't really know where she came from. The groundskeeper took her there, saying there was a fire, like, you need to stay here. And every year she would get a butterfly through an anonymous benefactor every year on her birthday, and she left there when she was 14. And Sherlock manages to trace it to a shop in London, and Mycroft, in the meantime, is finding out information where Malik has gone, and it leads them to Paris, and all of them end up in Paris. Which is so funny because every Sherlock Holmes book I've sort of read, Paris is like a city in it. It's like drawn. It's like a sort of second being. It's like, oh, where do we go? Paris. Oh, where are we going? But Paris or Scottish Highlands, which gotta love because I'm from Scottish Highlands. It's fantastic. So it's so funny when they said Paris. I was just like, you've got to be kidding! You've got to be kidding! It's like, what is Paris? Is like a secondary character to me at this point for Sherlock Holmes. I'm just like, oh, of course they're going to Paris. And they discover there that Malik and Silas have been working together to create an odorless, colourless nerve agent known as creeping death. Because Sherlock would see his father do all these sorts of experiments on butterflies. So he was always thinking, well, I wonder why he's doing that, because he would keep them in a glass dome and he would just watch them, and it would be capable of killing entire neighbourhoods. And that's how his profits came up, because they're selling it because there's a revolution going on in Paris. Obviously, wars will eventually keep breaking out over the years, and it's a way of making money. It's automatic death in a bottle, in a little tube. And they manage to find them. They interrupt the sale, and Silas indirectly makes it clear that Beatrice is still alive. And Jean, who we know as Jean, she is Zhao, is looking for Silas as well as Malik, due to them having tried this experiment previously on her village, ending all the life in her village bar her. So obviously she is seeking revenge, and by accident on that end of that, she shoots Sherlock. Oh, dear God. So he's fine, obviously. He survives the gunshot wound. And then Zhao, is it Zhao? Xiao? Xiao? I don't know how to pronounce half these words. So then she reveals that that's why she was after Silas and all the professors, because they were in on it. All of them were in on it. After everything that happened in the tunnels, everyone's gone. They don't know where Silas is. But through working with Jean and all that, they discover how to get in contact with the partners and everyone who's involved in that conspiracy of the walking death of the tubes. And they find out where Silas is in Constantinople, and they go and make an offer to Silas that if he wants Zhao, because obviously she's trying to kill him, they want Beatrice. They come to a conclusion that, okay, you give me Zhao, I will let you have Beatrice. And apparently, like, when they get there, Beatrice is alive and well, but the mum's not convinced. She knows it's not her daughter. She's like, look at me. The girl won't look at her. She's like, you're not my daughter. And it goes a bit astray, because they were going to let Joao try and kill Silas anyway. And then that's what, like, this big reveal happened, and I am not lying when I say, as soon as I found out that Beatrice was alive, I knew exactly who it was. I went, it's her. It was none other than Hodge's assistant, and I knew it. Like, as soon as they said Beatrice was alive, like, after the end of episode 4, I went, it's the assistant. It's got to be. Like, it has to be. I got it. The one thing I got, I was like, yes! So, I was still in shock. I was like, my god. Shocked they got it right, too, because what was her name again? Because I said it earlier and I didn't, because I said she was Hodge's assistant. Holly Cattle. They make she is so good. Like, she is so good. Like, I cannot express enough how good. It's always weird because, again, throughout the majority of Sherlock adaptations and obviously the original novels, it's just two. It's the Holmes brothers, the Holmes boys, just the two of them. Then obviously in the BBC version of Sherlock, you got the, you know what happened to the third one? And we all thought, the third one. So we thought maybe it could be another brother, but they always make it a sister, because I think having a female creates a good dynamic. And especially in this, like, with two boys and one girl. In elementary, it's just the two of them. Yeah. Yeah, it's just two of them. I won't lie. I didn't like the BBC version of this. Not the whole entirety of it. Like, the last episode with their sister. Like, the very last episode, I wasn't very impressed with it, I won't lie. Some of the reveals, like the one big reveal that happened at the end, towards the end of that episode, oh my god. I don't know, I was not a fan. I know a few people did not like the last season either. Let me know if you did, or what you didn't like about it. Just let me know. So she's alive. It turns out Silas has secretly raised her. She found him when they were young. She was like, I know who you are. And raised her secretly and manipulated her, like he was trying to manipulate Sherlock into thinking he had gone crazy like his mother. He manipulated her into thinking your mother didn't love you. She's preferred the two boys, like all that stuff, turning her against her whole family essentially. And so he fabricated the whole thing, and to get Cordelia into the asylum so obviously like he could have control of everything. Mycroft is contacting the British government to tell them everything about Silas, and saying we need to stop my dad, which must be crazy. It's like, you need to stop my dad. I'm here to help you stop my dad from killing people. It's gotta be crazy. They eventually do escape from Silas because like he's held in captive where he stays in Constantinople. So they eventually escape, and find out where he's holding all this stuff and producing it. Chaos ensues, as you can imagine, trying to convince Silas to stop. And then, obviously, when the bad guy doesn't agree, what do you have to do with something like that? You've got to destroy it. So there's explosions, as you can expect from a Guy Ritchie. There's explosion, there's gunfire, everything thrown into it, but the kitchen sink. Well, maybe especially the kitchen sink. Beatrice, along the way, through Sherlock and his mum, they are convincing her, if they could get her away from Silas, they could convince her, look, he's been lying to you, and they managed to do that. So she turns her back on Silas. She shoots him, or it's her or Xiao that shoots him, I can't remember. And then they're outside, and so Beatrice is wanting to kill him, and Sherlock won't let him. He wants to do the right thing, bring him to justice and let him rot in prison. Like, let him live this out. And then Silas grabs hold of him, says to Sherlock, like, I knew you loved me, because he thought he was protecting him. He's like, he wasn't. He's like, I'm only protecting you because I want to bring you to justice. And then Silas just, he almost manipulates Sherlock again in that way, because he was holding on to him and then he let go and fell off a cliff. But he had it so that Sherlock was facing him and grabbing him, so almost in a way, even in death, Sherlock, no, he didn't do it, but he was holding on to him. So in one final way, he still has a manipulative hold over his son, which is crazy, which will also probably maybe feed into the back of Sherlock's head as we go. I don't know how many seasons this is going to get. Maybe a few. I can maybe anticipate it getting maybe 3 to 4 seasons. So I'm thinking throughout that psychological effect on Sherlock will develop for the whole season, going maybe, oh, like, but I pushed him. It's like, no, you didn't push him. He chose to fall. But it's like, but I had a hold of him. Like, all that torment in his head. Like I said, the way of it being 2 boys and 1 girl for the Holmeses, it makes a good dynamic. It's also one of those things because Moriarty broke code, slept with his sister, which is another dynamic of the fact that those 2 get each other on the level. Beatrice and Moriarty, as well as Sherlock and Moriarty, obviously on an intellectual level. They both get each other on an intellectual level, but they're also attracted to each other. And they decided, boom, we're going to sleep together. And they're keeping it secret, which I don't know how long that's going to last, because her brother's Sherlock and Mycroft for a fact. But during this whole thing, Moriarty has been convincing Sherlock, we should just take your dad's formula and we could sell it for ourselves. Anything that this sort of thing happens, Moriarty's thinking selling it for himself. He sees himself in a high power sort of anyway, and I think that's where we see the Moriarty we know now, because in the novels and in the Granda series, he's selling fakes of the Mona Lisa to gain money, to gain control, to gain more power in his status. So we see that little bit here where he's trying to manipulate Sherlock into taking his dad's formula, because they find the antidote for it as well, which is like the opposite of the formula, and he's convincing Sherlock we should take it and sell it, and he's like, oh, I'm joking. This is the way you see the little manipulative things that Moriarty does. And by the end of it, Moriarty has it. He's found the papers before the whole thing blew up, and he's took them for himself. Sherlock knows he has it, but he's saying to Sherlock, oh no, I'm just keeping it, because you never know when this is going to resurface. So I'll keep it just in case we need it again. Which was a lie. And by the end, Sherlock and Mycroft are going through their dad's study, and they find a hidden key, and Mycroft has said to Sherlock, just let it go. Like, let's just stop. Let's just close the chapter on this book. But Sherlock, being Sherlock, obviously took the key, and he had it out, and then Moriarty went, well, what's that? And he went, oh, it's nothing. And that's where it ends. So you're like, where does that key go? What does it, like, because obviously, if his dad has had several failed businesses, this one is something that he's created that could have, like, if used everywhere, would have destroyed the whole of humanity. Not just used for war. People could have bought it to use it to just, if someone annoyed you. So his dad's not just a one-track pony. There's got to be more to this. More secrets. See the dynamics this is happening and what is going to change between... Mycroft is probably going to get a higher position again. And I think by the end of it, he got his position back, because it was always getting taken away from him, and he used that to manipulate to get his foot into doors as he does. That's what Mycroft is known for, like helping Sherlock get a foot in a door somewhere. So Mycroft will probably be moved up into a certain level of power. I'm not, like, with Cordelia Holmes, she probably gets hopefully all her stuff back that Silas had manipulated to inherit of her. So hopefully she gets all that back. And she has her children back, which is fantastic. Moriarty's just going to get up to something. Maybe not with that formula. Maybe so. But, or then maybe something else could happen. Because I think Beatrice knows he's got something. Because she met him towards the end and went, oh, what do you have to show me? And he didn't manage to because Sherlock was there. That secret relationship might get revealed, probably, more than likely, because nothing really stays secret from Sherlock sometimes, but as we all know, he's not that keen in touch with his romantic sense of feeling, so I don't know if he will see the signs that there's something secretive going on between them. Don't know. Beatrice seems to be going into cahoots with Moriarty, so I don't know if she will go for his plan or not. She might, considering that she got out from under her father for his manipulation techniques, but she might still have that sort of thing in her head. Because dad was someone she loved, looked up to. Moriarty's becoming like her partner, so like a romance there might cloud her judgment again. Sherlock, obviously the key, he found the key, like what secrets does that hold? We're going to find out through more of that. Maybe we're going back through years of what Silas has done to put towards now, and there's things that will happen that will come back to haunt the family in that sort of way. And like I said, there's those guest stars that I'm seeing right here, and they are fantastic actor and actresses. I'm excited to see who they could possibly play. I can kind of see Aidan Gillen maybe being... He could be Moriarty's dad! Is his dad dead? No. Did Moriarty say his dad? Did he say his mum's dead? Or is it his dad that's dead? Because he's Irish. Aidan Gillen's Irish. He could be playing Moriarty's father. That could go... Oh, that would throw a spanner in the works. Got to deal with each other's dads. We've dealt with Sherlock's, now we've got to deal with Moriarty's. Oh, this could be interesting. Oh, that's exciting. Oh, that's an exciting thought. Either way, overall, like I would, if you're a big Sherlock fan, I would highly recommend this. We all know how Guy Ritchie did with the movies. Personally, the second film's my favourite. This series is so good. Like it keeps you second guessing. The acting's amazing. They all make brilliant choices. The writing, like I said, it was like two things then they combined into one. You were like, wait, how is this all manipulating back through here? The connections, the writing, the acting, just superb. So I would highly recommend this series if you are a Sherlock fan. Obviously, people wouldn't be watching if there were spoilers in it. But if you have, you know what I'm talking about. But I'm very excited for season 2. I'm very excited. So that was it for this video, guys. Well, if you've watched Young Sherlock, what did you think of it? Let me know in the comments down below. What do you think might happen in season 2? And I will see you all next time. Bye.